Morning, everybody. Welcome to Daryl and Boo's weekly update for Monday, January 25th. How's it going, Boo?
Good, thanks. I am loving the snow from yesterday up on the hill. So I got up for some skiing yesterday. Lots of snow. I'm very poor at maintaining the entire family's set of skis and snowboard and whatnot, but I did get around to waxing after the kids started getting stuck in the snow last week. And so I waxed the skis and they were loving yesterday being able to slide around in the powder. It's pretty good. Not too much powder for them. If there's too much powder for the younger ones, they get a little frustrated because it takes a little bit more toll on the legs. But they enjoyed that. So we got to enjoy some of the weather that we were getting. Obviously, it was raining down here. We didn't get the snow that we were forecasted for in the rest of Vancouver. So that's okay. We got to enjoy the snow up in the mountains.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good for you for waxing your own skis and boards. It's that's yet another thing that I outsource. I've never actually waxed my own snowboard before, but
yeah, it's not worth the effort. You can go get quick waxes done for like $10 or $15, and it's and they can do it really fast, whereas it takes me a while. So it's probably more worthwhile to just bring it in, but it is what it is.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was kind of again another relaxing weekend for us. We didn't really do anything crazy, just kind of were outside running errands, getting some things done this weekend. Again, no snow, so snuck out for a run when it was I thought was going to be completely dry, and as soon as I got going, there's actually a little bit of sort of wet snow here, so it was made for a bit of a chilly run, but yeah, nice. And looks like they're calling it off this week. I don't know if things change all the time, but it doesn't look like there's any snow in the forecast for the next week or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm looking forward to this guest we've got on, Malcolm. So maybe we can bring him on and have a chat. Hey, Malcolm.
Hey, Daryl. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I know Boo and yourself were on sort of one of the more technical live streams last week. Is it last week you guys did your session? Yeah. But the first time I've had a chance to meet you, Malcolm, so appreciate you coming on and joining us.
Well, thanks. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit like the Tonight Show where you'll have a comedy guest on or a musical guest on, and then you're kind of waiting to see if Johnny Carson gives you the nod to actually come over to the couch and have a chat with him. So Malcolm, you've made it, and you are sitting at the couch with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, and I'm in this whole relationship here. I basically sit there and provide a laugh track is my role in this whole process.
Awesome. So you like my ventriloquism act is what you're telling me, right?
Yeah. So Malcolm, we've had a couple of your teammates on join us in previous weeks. David and Sander have both been on, and always really interesting to kind of hear from you guys. So for the folks who don't know, Malcolm is a threat research evangelist from the F5 Labs team. F5 Labs, really interesting part of F5 that sometimes our customers don't really get full exposure to. So If you like, Malcolm, maybe just talk a little bit about F5 Labs and your role, and maybe some of the stuff that you've been up to in the last few months.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks. So F5 Labs is a little bit of a strange section of F5 in some ways. We do product neutral, product agnostic threat research. And we do this so that we can get a really good idea about what's going on in the world of threats, I guess, in some ways, and also provide our customers with this product agnostic information so that they can better learn how to defend themselves, what they need to do on their networks, what they can do in their environments. So we try to we're pretty broad. We look at a whole bunch of different things. We've looked at TLS, for example, with the work that David's done. We've worked at looked at application threats. We do that regularly with an application protection report. We've looked at phishing and fraud. We've done a number of rather large research projects to address a whole bunch of things, and you can find those on F5 Labs. F5.com/F5 Labs, I believe is the URL. In the meantime, I've been doing a lot of stuff a little bit more in the background. I've been with F5 for a number of years now, and I've held a couple of different positions. I was an enterprise network engineer for the APM product to start with. And then I was on the F5 SIRT, which is the team that customers can call up when they're having security emergencies. So I got a lot of real hands-on experience with the sort of challenges that our customers face when they're under attack. And then just recently moved into F5 Labs. So a lot of the work that I've been doing has been bringing a lot of the essentially the experience and knowledge that I gained on the F5 cert, bringing that into the F5 Labs context, and doing a fair amount of work in the background, doing some programming projects and data analysis, that kind of thing. So I haven't really been too far forward in the face of F5 Labs, but I'm starting to emerge apparently.
Nice, yeah. And the cert program, for lack of better terms, again, is something that I don't think we do a good enough job here at F5 at promoting. We kind of an amazing thing that our customers have access to, because, quite often these security issues pop up and you're completely unprepared and you're kind of in a bit of a panic as to, okay, who do I call? What do I do? So yeah, that's interesting that was your background before moving fully into F5 Labs. I think that's kind of a nice segue.
It was for me. I think it brings a lot of, the people on F5 Labs have decades of experience in a wide variety of operational and strategic positions in security organizations, right? So we have people who have been CISOs, we have people who have done NOC work and SOC work, and just a wide range. And I was able to bring in this sort of I know F5 customers pretty well. I know the challenges they face. I have a lot of product knowledge from my time as an E&E and on the F5 cert, and then I can really in some ways represent the sorts of things that I've seen with customers. And that helps us guide and target our research a little bit better. What are the really hot issues for F5 customers that they might be interested in finding out more about?
Yeah, it is interesting because we've spoken to, as I said, David and Sander in the past, and your roles at F5 Labs. You've got experience from previous roles at F5s, but you're not really focused on F5 products whatsoever.
Nope.
Talk to them, and quite often there's, they have a high level notion of some of the products that we have, but it's not their job to be out there talking about F5 solutions. It's just more about the overall security posture that customers should be looking at, and some of the issues that are trending.
That's exactly right. And I think that comes from the realization that every customer environment's really different. What they're concerned about in terms of their threat profile and their specific architecture and the way that they've set things up and so forth. F5 has a large variety of products that can fit into a whole bunch of different spots in that, and they're very capable products, absolutely. But to have kind of an overarching understanding of maybe what technologies you want to apply where to address what kinds of threats, that's something that we hope at F5 Labs we can help people with. Yeah, and outside of just F5 customers, just everybody in the industry.
Right. Yeah. Which again is so cool. So yeah, we and I try and encourage our customers to kind of check out F5 Labs from time to time. There's just a bunch of great content in there that if you're, just looking to increase your overall knowledge around security, then it's a great place to go.
Maybe I'll call out at the same time too, Malcolm. You've had a great career path at F5, and if folks who are interested right now, head over to f5.com/careers. I can see that there are 300 job recs open right now. And Malcolm, in the E&E role that you started off with, and we've had Rick Salsa on as well, who used to be an E&E as well. Both of those roles are completely remote. If you qualify for the position and it makes sense, they seem to be happy to have you in whatever location you are. So if folks want to check out all the different, I know a lot of people that talk to myself and Daryl think of F5 as just like the account team that comes to visit them, but everybody behind the scenes, outside of the tip of the spear, I guess, that's working to put together the products and support the products and all the other aspects of F5, all that stuff is there. Very interesting job. So we got 300 positions to fill. Folks can let me know if they're applying for one. You can put my name down so I can get the bounty for that as well.
Always the mercenary, Boo.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, I've really enjoyed my time at F5. I think like an awful lot of people in the industry, I often hopped around a lot. I think prior to joining F5, I was shifting jobs about every 3 or 4 years, maybe. And I worked for large organizations and tiny organizations and did a whole bunch of stuff. I've been in the industry probably since the mid 90s, I guess. So it's been a while, but I landed at F5 and I've been here now coming on 8 years, I guess now. So It's been a really, really good run. And I've really enjoyed it. And there's reasons why I stayed here so long. I think it's a really great company. So I encourage, along with Boot, check us out. It's a pretty great place to work.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And especially the last few years, obviously some very, very cool acquisitions. NGINX followed by Shape. We're having great conversations and customers deploying both of those solutions. They're both kind of becoming more and more integrated into the discussions we're having with our customers. But big news today. Volterra, it was announced that we had intended to acquire Volterra, I guess about a week and a half ago, and officially it was announced today. So extremely exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be great, I think.
Yeah, interested to hear your thoughts on this, Malcolm, too. I know when I spoke to Boo, I always get my initial feedback from Boo on these things as to kind of what he thinks and where it will fit for our customers. But interested to hear kind of what your thoughts are on this acquisition.
Well, I'm still learning about it myself, but from what I've been able to find out so far, I think this is a really, really strong play, especially when we enter this probably oncoming age of really extensive use of hybrid and multi-cloud environments. I think this is going to have a really big impact on companies that are in the telco space or the service provider space as well. Pretty much any customer that's relying or considering relying heavily on containerized instances running in hybrid cloud environments. I think it's got some really, really powerful features, and it's going to make that a lot simpler for people to do. So I think this is a very strong play, and I'm really happy that we're doing it.
Yeah, no, good to hear. I kind of agree also. Always try and relate this back to our customers here in British Columbia, and obviously there's a trend towards cloud. There's no surprise, and hybrid cloud will follow. Containers, there is some adoption here in British Columbia, but it's picking up. So always nice to see you're a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
By the time your customers are kind of looking at this stuff, you've got a fully baked solution that can help them out.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the container adoption as well, maybe some of the hesitance earlier on has been, how does it get supported and how does it get deployed? And there's a learning curve to it and ramping that kind of stuff up. And not saying that Volterra is going to solve every single piece of that, but a huge chunk of that we used to tell customers, hey, build this, build that, build whatever, and then you'll have your F5 in there. This kind of flattens out a lot of that, I think, and allows for people to just get to the value sooner, which I think has been the common theme from last year was, you either evolve or die. In COVID times where you need to digitally transform your business very, very quickly, we could see, what happened to organizations that could evolve very, very quickly, or already had a plan in place, or were already midstream on digital transformation. And then the organizations that were not ready for digital transformation, they're kind of, left there. Other companies have already leaped 5 years ahead at this point because they're ready to move quickly. And so this kind of stuff helps, customers evolve very, very quickly when it comes to the newer types of applications, or even the older types of applications where they need to go multi-cloud, and they need to be able to build that really quickly. This is all there and packaged for them. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I would say that over the course of my career, and I think this is borne out by the sort of the history of computing in general, right? We've had big advances, and then there's a period of complexity where everyone's kind of trying to get their hands around it and figure out how to use it, and then it simplifies, it flattens, it abstracts, right? And then we don't worry about the technology anymore. Like, it used to be that, at one point in my career, we were switching from token ring networks to Ethernet. We were, there was a lot of stuff going on in the networking space that made it really, that was like mostly the work that I did, was trying to convert networks or get people to understand how different topologies worked and so forth. But now it's ubiquitous. We don't even think about that, right?
Yeah.
I think we're in that point now, maybe, where we're seeing all of the implications of cloud environments and containers and edge networks and so forth, that we've maybe been struggling with how to integrate into our environments or how to use effectively. We're getting to the point now where I think there's some things coming out that are going to make that more abstracted and a lot easier to deal with. And so in another few years, we're not even going to think about it. That's just going to be the way that things are.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy to see us like right on the leading edge of that wave, right?
I think maybe the most recent example I can think of is SDN and overlay networks.
Yeah.
We saw VMware acquire Nicira for $1.2 billion and making a big play and a big bet on overlay networks and virtualized networking. And VXLAN was a very big deal. From an F5 perspective, we charged customers for a license to be able to run VXLAN on your F5. And now that's packaged in to an F5. And I think from the VMware perspective, NSX is now just, kind of grouped in with their other products, and kind of expected that people are going to be prepared to run overlay networks inside of their networks now. So, this is our play into what we're calling Edge 2.0 networking. So yeah, exciting to see that we're kind of on the leading edge of that at this point.
Yeah. So Malcolm, are you, I take it you've been with F5 for a while. Are you Seattle based? And is that kind of been your home base for a while, or what's your background?
No, actually I live in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, nice.
Portland, Oregon, just about 300 miles south of Seattle. And I guess about, I don't know how many additional miles it is to Vancouver, but yeah, I've lived here for a long, long time. And like Boo was saying, I was hired as a remote E&E, and it was no problem at all. Honestly, the whole switch to this sort of pandemic work from home thing, I didn't really notice, because that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. So it wasn't that big of a deal for me. I go up to Seattle now and again. I love the F5 offices. I'd like to get up there, in the pre-pandemic days, I would try to get up there a couple of times a quarter just to have some face-to-face time with folks. But And if you are in Seattle and we aren't in a pandemic, the F5 offices are amazing. So there's something to look forward to if you come to
Still
work for us.
not had the chance to check them out, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That was just bad timing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just down here in rainy, gray Portland.
Portland is a
Winter's down
great place, though. It's we up here in Vancouver, we kind of tried to emulate or steal your craft beer scene which has been great. A few years ago that started,
yeah.
and so little craft breweries have literally popped up all over the Lower Mainland, which is obviously we got that from kind of where Portland went and surrounding area.
You know what? We can steal from each other because I know that the Portland city planners have been stealing stuff from Vancouver for years with urban growth boundaries and things like that. So
yeah, it's a great city. I love Portland. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Boo, you got some bits of news or current events that you want to kind of pull up this week?
Some very important bits of news here. Now, I think the news of last week was political, and not that we get too political on Daryl and Boo's weekly update. However, we got to mention Bernie Sanders, this meme that took over the internet, as far as I'm concerned, last week, and his mittens. And so even our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, created a meme of himself with Bernie Sanders. He's just trying to ride his coattails, I guess. So there he is with Bernie Sanders in a picture that he posted. Now, if you look into the mittens a little bit further, interesting thing. So those mittens were created by a teacher in Vermont named Jen Ellis. She's been giving them to Bernie over the last couple of years, and right now, what she's doing is she's a teacher. She makes these in her spare time. She is actually raising funds for charities in Vermont through these mittens. So, which is kind of cool. Now, her Twitter, if you head over to her Twitter, it has jumped to 20,000 followers.
Wow.
So she got popular really quick. And you can buy, hopefully these are real and not fake. You can buy a set of these mittens for $1,700. The current bid is $1,700 US with 3 days left on the auction for these ones here.
I was going to say she's going to have to outsource to China or something like that.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Now, they're made from they're made from repurposed wool sweaters, and they're lined with fleece made from recycled plastic bottles. So they are unique, very one of a kind type of bins there. So pretty cool to see that. And I have a number of there's a Twitter page called Bernie's Mittens. So there's a number of memes on there. If folks want to check them out, I'm sure you have. Well, that's a sponsored tweet, but
that's not Bernie.
Yeah. But there's a lot of really cool ones on here. He made it into Vancouver as well. So here he is, just checking out the Vancouver sites. He was at the game.
Yeah,
there.
That's around.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did did a good job of covering that internet. Let's see here, another one, because we talk about Schitt's Creek a lot. I thought this was worth mentioning as well. Do you watch Schitt's Creek, Malcolm?
I haven't taken the dive into that. I've actually been catching up on The Mandalorian mostly recently. So
yeah,
it's on the list.
I'll have to check that one out. Dan Levy is going to make Saturday Night Live hosting debut in February, so folks can check that out. He's after he'll follow John Krasinski this weekend.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see here. A couple that I can pick from. Maybe this one is kind of interesting with the snow. a teen got lost while snowmobiling, and he survived by building a snow cave.
Nice.
Huddling up in there. So in the Caribou region, 17 years old. So pretty good survival skills.
Yeah.
He knew what to do. He parked the snowmobile in a wide open area, so that that helps with getting search and rescue, at least to be able to find the snowmobile. And then carved out a snow cave for himself and was able to survive overnight. And he had food and water with him. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I actually grew up in Minnesota. So just a little bit underneath Canada in the middle. And when I was a kid, one of the things that we did as an activity was we built a snow cave and learned how to do that. And then went in there with a candle. And when you had 3 or 4 people and a candle, it actually got pretty warm. I mean, it wasn't uncomfortable at all. You could take off your heavy coat and be pretty okay. So well done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So another good one here. Value Village staff found in some donated club clothes $85,000 in this bag. It was returned to the senior who it belonged to. But they believe that this was just lost for 25 years or so. And then it was when the senior was actually moving into a home that the kids had donated a bunch of her stuff. And part of that was some clothes that had all that. Now, you can tell the age because if you're looking here.
$1 bills and $2 bills.
Yeah. So for Malcolm's sake, in Canada, we got rid of our $1 bills and $2 bills and got coins instead. And this $100 bill, I haven't seen in forever either.
Yeah.
So
they look in pristine condition. They've been well kept.
Amazing. No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't had it too. Well, we actually do still have $2 bills, but you almost never see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
the dollar coins never caught on though. I don't know why. I actually like them. It's quite easy just to have a few bucks in your pocket that way.
Yeah.
And then maybe the last one here, speaking of finding stuff, BC grocer discovered cocaine bricks smuggled in a banana shipment.
Wow.
So this was actually 2 years ago. The investigation was closed. Now, down here, I don't know why it took them so long, but it came out of Colombia. So the bananas came out of Colombia. At some point they call from anyways, they had, at some point it said they had to test it and they figured out that it was cocaine after some testing. So I don't know how they did that test, but there it is.
Because a valuable box of bananas.
Yeah. Did it say the value of it here? No. 12 large bricks. Can't be cheap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I think that's top of the hour.
Yeah, top of the hour. That went by quickly. So yeah, great to have you join us, Malcolm. And once again, thank you very much for jumping on. And again, for those out there listening, check out F5 Labs. Always new content popping up every month or so. So worth a while to kind of poke in and see what's there.
Actually, we try to put something, at least an article out every week. So we update quite frequently. Yeah, check us out for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
All right.
Thanks, folks. Thanks, Malcolm.
Thanks a lot.
See ya. Thanks for checking this out today. If you're watching via YouTube right now, go ahead and click subscribe down below. Also click the bell for notifications. That way you will find out when we are dropping a new video or when we're going live. Also, there's darylandboo.com. If you head over to that, leave your name and email address, we will drop a weekly technical newsletter in your inbox every Monday. Also, this is available via podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify. Head over to one of those, hit subscribe, and you'll be able to listen to us in the car on your commute or during a walk or a run. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.